Help! Ladies and gentlemen, help! Thank you for joining me. Welcome in to CHGO Bulls Podcast. I am Big Dave. Follow me at Ball Sports. I am rolling solo today. My main man, Matt, is down in Austin, Texas. He is a part of a wedding. Wildergo Gottlieb is going to have a fresh Bulls HQ with our guy, Mark K, coming your way tomorrow. So today I was by myself, and I said, what the hell? Let's just do something, and let's see how it goes. And let's bring in somebody that everybody knows, everybody kind of loves, but everybody actually enjoys. My main man over here. Follow him at CBE Fred on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the prophet, C-Red Fred.
Thanks, Big Dave.
How are you,
Oh, my
sir?
gosh. What an honor to be on this show. And the only sad part about it is that Matt's not here. I know I just love the look on his face when I share my Bulls knowledge. So it's a real shame that he's not here to listen to some of the thoughts I'd like to bring to the show. It's an honor to have me on.
Yeah, he can't wait to have you on there, man. And as I do all the time, Fred, I have to, give the background, on our relationship, and how this began, and always give you a lot of credit and tell people I wouldn't really be here without you. Because you're the one who supported me from the beginning. You were taking me to my first live podcast. Remember you guys were doing it in like a subway?
Oh, that's right.
And I was out there. You had me out there going. Yeah.
What a disaster.
And I was just there listening, and you guys were like, yeah, you should be doing this more. And you were the one that got me to come for the audition for Bulls Outsiders. And you always encouraged me to, just continue doing this. And you always felt like I could do this. And you're a huge part of why I'm here right now, man. And I'd say that every single time I see you, bro. And I appreciate
you saying that, Big Dave. But honestly, I didn't do anything but listen to you speak and realize, man, this guy's an immense talent. I wanted to share it with the world in any way I could. And you just took it from there. I just opened one or two doors, and you busted through. So that, I mean, I'm so excited to be doing this with you, and I can't wait to share some of our combined knowledge in the Bulls universe, because I'm sure we're going to have a few controversial thoughts as we go forward, especially with the topic of the day.
Yeah, Salim's saying already, I think Mark K is going to quit the show. So, yeah, Mark K has already stated that he quits. Like, he's already stated it.
You know what's so funny is I gave Mark K his name.
Oh, yeah, did you?
I couldn't pronounce his name. And we would argue on Twitter. People followed us on Twitter. I couldn't pronounce it, so I just called him Mark K. And then, I gave him his semi-fame, arguably. Somehow he surpassed me with an Australian algorithm to get Twitter followers, and somehow he surpassed me, but now he's beyond me, and he's gone to great heights. I'm very happy for him. But I will say, he gets a big rap of being like the most handsome guy in the room, and Will's got him beat. Will Gottlieb.
Oh, yeah, nobody's touching the GOAT, man.
Yeah, Will's got him beat.
So Maverick? Nobody's touching GOAT Maverick.
Yeah,
here,
no, I met them both.
And all that?
Yeah. But,
it's
oh
awesome
my
stuff.
gosh, yes.
And also, man, I forgot to do this, but big shout out to our producer on the ones and twos. Miss Sarah is rolling with us today. How are you, Sarah?
Good. How are you?
I'm quite wonderful. It's your first time seeing all the greatness of C-Red Fred?
It is. It is mine. Yeah, I was with Braggs all week, though, so this is my first time being alone on the Bulls show this week.
Oh, it is true. Yes,
I know.
you were over his shoulder. Yes.
I know. I've had company all week, and now I've just been kind of in my own little corner today.
I think it's good Braggs not here. I don't think this office could stand him and Fred together in the office. Things would explode.
Doing a fantastic job, though.
Thank
Blowing
you.
me away with your professionalism. So.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, everyone, it's a team effort. Everyone here is just like, everyone does what they need to do, and then
this whole place is filled with legends and Mark K. So it's great to see.
Absolutely.
Just the shots. Coming up, man, we're going to definitely talk about the Zach Lavine trade rumors. I want to talk to this man over here about the Vučević extension because I know he has some thoughts on it, and I want to ask him about Billy Donovan and the state of the Chicago Bulls and whatever questions you guys might have to throw at this man over here. Well, please do it because this is going to be hilarious.
Well, the state of Chicago Bulls, I'm a Bulls historian. So
just rolling in? Okay.
Yeah, let's just roll in.
Let me throw it in. Doing what you feel like doing right now. We're not going to do that, Fred.
I'm going to get to your answer.
Let me do it how I do it. I got you, man. Let me set you up. Right. I got you, man. Calm down. I'm going to get you in. But we have to talk about Zach Lavine first.
Oh, gosh.
That's the first thing, first and foremost. We got to get into the Zach Lavine rumors, man, because news broke from Jake Fisher, senior NBA reporter of Yahoo News, and Yahoo Sports, excuse me, and he came out with some news. Sarah, if you got that, you can put that up for me, man. Talking about Zach Lavine and the trade surrounding him, man. You can see it right there. Wishful executives will keep their eyes peeled on Portland and Dame Lillard, but as for the Chicago Bulls, they've started contacting teams, quietly gauging the trade interest of one Zach Lavine. It remains to be seen how willing Chicago is to part ways with Lavine, or if it receives a commiserate offer for his services. Lavine has 4 seasons remaining on his 5-year, $215 million contract, and multiple teams indicate the Bulls are holding a steep valuation for Lavine, one that is likely to exceed what Washington can ultimately net for one Bradley Beal. Does this surprise you, Fred, that the Bulls are quietly shopping or checking the interest of Zach Lavine in the trade market?
No, I mean, I think that's what every GM should be doing, and every front office should be exploring potential trades for their players. I hope they're calling Milwaukee. Hey, what do you think of Zach Lavine for Giannis? If they say no, great. All right, have a good day. Move on. I think there's very few players that are better than Zach Lavine out there that are going to be legitimately available. I don't understand if it's true that they've decided that the direction forward is let's move Zach Lavine for a group of young players and let's build around, let's still have DeMar here and still have Vuč here. I think that's the height of insanity. I think it's about time that we actually take a path. I think the best path forward is to build a team around Zach Lavine, who at the age of 28 is just entering his prime. And from the All-Star break, I know a lot of people in Chicago stopped paying attention to the Bulls, but from the All-Star break on even to the first play-in game, he was as good as it gets in the NBA in terms of offensive talent and top 10 in every efficiency stat. The guy was absolutely amazing. And then he had a rough game against Miami, and it's kind of like we go back to the Nick Friedel bashing of Zach Lavine. I'm really tired of it. I'm sick of it. I think he deserves a lot more respect than he gets in the town. And I think if we stick with him, I think we're going to see some great things. If we can kind of build a team that's more suited to his talents.
As you stated, after the All-Star break, Zach was averaging 28 points, shooting 55, 42, 88. Those were his splits. He was an absolute monster, man. And over the past 5 years, Zach is averaging 25 a game, Fred. His splits, 48, 39, 84. Like, he has really been special for the Bulls, man. And not having a lot of talent around him, but he's still been that kind of special guy. So you don't want to trade him. You don't even want to consider it, like, unless it's like you say, Giannis or somebody like that. Like, there's no package you can think of.
Well, of course, I mean, Giannis, I'd make that move. There's probably about, I'd say 10 or 15 guys in the league I'd probably make the move for.
Okay.
But, the questions have been coming up with Portland taking the 3rd overall pick. I think it's a pretty difficult question on whether or not I'd want to make that move. I think, I love Scoot. I would probably strongly consider that one. But the other one that I think is a realistic trade is what I've heard out in New York. My sources on the ground tell me that they would realistically like to make that trade. Yeah, I got some sources on the ground. My sources are all the periodicals I read. But I think New York would absolutely like to make a move for like an R.J. Barrett and all their draft assets for Zach Lavine. I want to make that move. I think it's time that we just devote and really try to find a team, find a rim protector for Zach Lavine, put some shooting around him, find out ways to really clear the lane, which really hasn't been clear. I know we talked about this before the show. Since Zach Lavine got here, who's the best rim protector the Bulls have had? Thad Young, arguably. I mean, it's a pretty short list. Wendell Carter Jr., who was unfortunately hurt for most of his time here, was the best three-pointer he played with. Three-point shooter, Lowry. And Lowry wasn't actually that good while he was here as a three-point shooter. Kobe. He's never had any of those two important assets for him around him, and instead they've set up with Vuč and DeMar. Not great fits in my opinion, for his talents. But unequivocally, that season ended last year. Zach Lavine was the best player on the team, and I thought the best young player was Kobe White.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. I agree with you as far as Zach. Keeping him, I would like to see the Bulls build around him. I don't think they've really taken that route. I've heard every other route as far as trading him, doing all these other things. The one I haven't heard is let's build around him. Let's get him what he needs and let's see. Because the one time I saw it actually occur was when they got Lonzo, when they got DeMar, when they got those guys, because they were trying to improve the team. They were the best team in the East. You know what I'm saying? When you actually tried. Now, the difference was the line was kind of blurred between him and DeMar as far as who was the best player. Now, when I'm saying build around him, I'm talking about unequivocally he being the best player on this team, and this is the guy who is your guy. And so you build around that, and you give him what he needs as far as the point guard, as far as the rim protection, as far as the shooters too.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Lonzo really brought, excellent three-point shooting in a high volume. I mean, he wasn't really a traditional point guard. Down the stretch, he wasn't handling the ball.
Yeah.
It's pretty much still DeMar's role there. But I think that's the big thing with Zach is he's just I highlighted this. We all talked about he took a ton of heat for the Heat game. 3 minutes left. The Bulls had a 3-point lead in that game. And I just showed this and went over this with Dave.
Yes, he did.
Highlighted it on Twitter.
It was in black
Zach
and white.
Lavine didn't. I thought that it added a lot of class to the video. But Zach Lavine didn't touch the ball until there were about 1:07 left in the game. He literally went for about 3 or 4 possessions without even touching the ball. And that's not on Zach. That's on the team, and that's on his teammates for not getting him the ball and having a point guard there who's going to facilitate opportunities for him.
Yeah.
Just he took a lot of heat for the end of that game, and I just feel like it was highly unjustified.
I agree somewhat. I think some of it is justified because he just honestly they keyed on him and he didn't play great. But the pregame before, a lot of people don't talk about, the Toronto game, which he was just absolutely amazing in. He was awesome and talented in that game. But people don't bring that one up, man. You're right, though. They're quick to go to that heat about him.
Yeah, and the bigger point is his teammates let him down in that Heat game. And I highlighted this. If you go and watch that game again, Eric Spoelstra had a simple maxim. Bam Adebayo, I want you to keep yourself in between Zach Lavine and the basket at all times. They basically completely took away his ability to attack the rim, which is where I think Zach's at his best. He's an excellent penetrator. He's incredibly quick at attacking the rim and finishing at the rim.
Sure.
Excellent at that. And they said, we're not going to let him do that. They said, Vuce, you could stand out in the three-point line all day. You've been shooting 31% from the three-point line since the All-Star break. We don't believe you can beat us. And they were right. He didn't hit a three in either playing game. So, did Vuce take any heat? No. He hasn't taken one bit of heat, and people are talking about paying him, $20 to $25 million and bringing him back at the age of 32, which I think is absolutely insane.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. I promise you, Fred. We're going to give you your time on that, man. But I promise you, I got you. We're going to get in because we don't agree on that at all. We don't agree. But Zach, man, I think it's okay. When this came out, a lot of Bulls fans, or the ones I know, were like, why are they even this is crazy, dude. They're about to trade Zach Lavine. And I'm like, no. You have to go do this. You have to find out what everybody on your team is worth. You got to go see what they're willing to pay, because if it's astronomical, it's going to be kind of hard to pass up. But at the same time, a lot of people are looking at the results as far as Zach Lavine is concerned too. Like, all the numbers are great. We see that. But it hasn't meant winning. And even in those times, we know the deficiencies of him, man. It's the ball handling. It's decision making. It's dribbling the ball and stepping it out of bounds. We've seen them do that a million times in the fourth quarter. So it's those things people also look at, and the fact that the playoff record isn't what it hoped you wanted to be with a guy with that kind of talent. So I don't think it's strange or it's wrong for Bulls fans to want to trade Zach Lavine. I don't think it's crazy. It's just something I want to do because I want to see him at his best with them building around him. And if it doesn't work then I'm like, okay, well, fine. They can go ahead and make that move.
Well, let's look at Jimmy Butler when we traded him at 28 to 2 seasons before that. Bulls missed the playoffs. When I'm talking about Jimmy Butler where he was unequivocally the best player on the team. The last year that team won 50 games in 2014-15, Butler was not the best player. That team had 3 players that I all thought were alphas, and Gasol, Derrick Rose, and Jimmy Butler. They were all pretty equal. They're all pretty equal. There were 3 alphas on that team. The next 2 seasons they won. I think they missed the playoffs the following year, and then the following year they were 500 with the 3 alphas. Was there a lot of success there with Jimmy Butler as the lead guy? No. Why? Because the Bulls didn't do an excellent job or great job of building around him. He then goes to Minnesota, wins 1 playoff game, then goes to Philly, loses in the second round, and then goes to Miami where they actually said, we're going to build around you. We're going to put the players around. We're going to put a rim protector in Bam Adebayo, 3-point shooting around you. You are the focus of our team. Unequivocally, you are the leader of this team. That's never happened to Zach Lavine. They haven't done that for him. In fact, they've just brought in other guys that I don't think actually kind of complement his game. I think they actually almost kind of contradict it and get in the way.
That's a great point, and that's something else I was talking with my friend about. Will it come a point in time where Zach actually get fed up with that, with them actually putting him out there as far as trade? Because this isn't the first time. Like, this has happened throughout years since he's been here.
Yeah, I think if I were in his shoes, I would be. I mean, what has he done for Chicago? I think he's been an excellent representative for the organization. The guy's a great kid, fantastic in the community. I can't say anything but good things about Zach Lavine. Anybody who covers him and meets him has nothing but the best to say about him. He's an awesome dude. Yeah. And yet all we're talking about, he's a problem. I always hear this. You got the – and that's unfortunately due to the fact that there's some prominent voices in Chicago over the years who have been Zach Lavine detractors. Nick Friedel is a massive Zach Lavine detractor. And if you're not devoted to the Bulls and truly understand the team like you and I do – and you're just a casual Bulls fan, well, you're going to listen to Nick Friedel talk and a lot of his gibberish about how bad Zach Lavine is, and he's not a winner and all this nonsense. Even some other more friends of ours, like Joe Cowley, who I like a lot, but I disagree with him tremendously on this, also doesn't think that he's a winner. I disagree with that. The Bulls have never put anyone in position. Zach Lavine needs to play with a fantastic rim protector and three-point shooters around him to optimize his talents. It hasn't happened since he's been here.
So you have that belief that he can be the number one guy to take you deep in the playoffs and maybe even make a championship, right?
Absolutely. You can count on one hand the amount of guys that are 50% from the field, 40% from three, 90% from the free throw line. He approaches those numbers every year. He's gotten better every year. And his last – since the All-Star game to the end of the season, he was absolutely fantastic with some really impressive victories. I love Zach Lavine, and I think he deserves more respect in the city.
Adrian's saying the issue with this argument is the Bulls cannot build around Lavine with the current roster, and letting Vuč go doesn't mean that you suddenly get a rim protector because of the dead cap.
All right, great point. So can I go back to my analogy I wanted to talk about? So the Bulls were in this situation, a similar situation as a Bulls historian. I'd like to throw one analogy for a similar time period, and that goes back to 2009. In February of 2009, the Bulls, in the first 2 weeks of that year, they were 23-30. They had two young players on the team that were not really fulfilling their potential. I mean, Derrick Rose he was showing some signs that he was eventually going to be Rookie of the Year, but there was still a lot of questions about him. He wasn't anywhere near to how good he was. The other player was Joakim Noah, who up to that time was not a great player. In fact, most people viewed him as a disappointment. What happened? Well, not you, but most people, you would admit, most people at that point.
No, most people hated the pick. Yeah,
yes,
I remember it well.
And they were angry about it.
Oh, I remember it well, yeah.
What did the Bulls do at that time?
What'd they do for it?
They traded some key core pieces and moved them away and said, we're going to bring in other players that are complementary to Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. So they moved Andres Nocioni, they moved Drew Gooden to the Sacramento Kings.
Your boy, right?
John Solomons and Brad Miller. I like
Drew Gooden.
Drew Gooden is one of the worst players I've ever seen in Bulls uniform. But that said, they brought in these two players that were not long-term players, but they did absolutely help with the development of Joakim Noah and Derrick Rose. If you talk to Joakim today, he'll talk about how important Brad Miller was in his development. So that's one player that they moved Nocioni, who was a fan favorite. They moved him. They sent Heinrich out and his carcass and his despite the fact he's Chicago's favorite son. I don't want to get into what I think about Kirk Heinrich, but they actually moved him out and actually said, we'll actually send a pick too, just a free cap space to get him out. Because guess what? Kirk Heinrich on a team with Derrick Rose isn't a great fit. So they sent him on his way. And then they also let Ben Gordon walk. Now, that was devastating for me.
And me.
Yes. And I was in a depression for months after that.
Well, I wasn't that.
You weren't in the depression? I still remember when I heard it was in
I didn't write haikus and songs because of it. I was okay. I was all right.
True story. I met Joakim Noah like a month after he left.
Okay.
And I said, Ben's gone. What are we going to do? And basically he said, it was just business. And then we hugged. We hugged it out. I swear it's a true story. I don't want to get into the details
cry,
of that.
though?
I did.
You got a little misty?
I remember driving around Chicago. It was super cold. It was July.
Okay.
I heard the news that he was leaving. And I just started, there was a little tear there. Ben Gordon was one of my favorite players.
That's fair. That's fair.
That said, they let him go. So core pieces that they let walk or move in order to give younger players or better players an opportunity to really succeed. And what did they do with all that cap space? They signed players like C.J. Watson as a backup point guard.
Shout out.
Kyle Korver to spread the floor for Derrick Rose.
Your boy.
They brought in, obviously Boozer I love Boozer. Some people he's
cool.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, so but they brought in players that were better and more and fit better with the offensive and defensive geometry. So where are we today? Similar situation, are we not?
Yeah.
We have a great player.
Yeah.
In Zach Lavine, we have a young player, I think, in Kobe White, who's really progressing.
I agree.
Potential great player in Patrick Williams. And what are we talking about doing? Let Vuč walk? Move DeMar DeRozan? Or are we going to actually trade Zach Lavine and go down this road? I don't even know what this road is going to be. What these guys are in their 30s. Like, what is the plan?
I like it, man. All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and get back into it, man. I want to ask you about Vuč and the extension of Nikola Vučević, sir, because I know you have thoughts on that. And also I want to ask him about Billy Donovan and the state of the Bulls, even though he just gave us a little bit on it. I want to ask you a couple more things. Guys, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button right about now. Show your love for this gentleman, C-Red Fred, man. And continue to stay with us because we got more to come. Lewis University. It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all I wanted to hear. That's all I
great.
wanted to hear. Lewis University is awesome. You like Lewis University?
One of my best friends was a baseball coach there.
Boom. You better know it, man.
Boom.
Go to school.
Love that place.
Ladies and gentlemen, go to college. Everybody's got an excuse why they shouldn't go and why they can't go. Lewis University removes a lot of that. 35 miles southwest of Chicago in Romeoville. They're ranked as one of the U.S. News and World Report's top tier colleges. They partner with numerous employers for tuition discounts, offering evening, online, and blended format to help you balance your work, family, and education. And the faculty brings real-world experience and instruction to the classroom and is immediately relevant to your career. And they offer career support and academic resources for adult students. And also, you know who went there, sir? Shaka Khan, Lewis University, sir. Absolutely. You know who else went there?
Billy Ocean.
No, he did not. Great
Okay.
call. Your boy Max Strus.
Okay.
Before he went to the fall,
That's right.
he was
Good
at
call.
Lewis University. All right. So they got some love. So show them that. And if you want to go, let's say you already been to school, man, but you want to go back. You want to get that extra degree. You want to get it on criminal justice, data science, computer science, cybersecurity, business analytics. All these things you can cover at Lewis University, y'all. So discover how a degree from Lewis can help you build a better world. Learn more at lewis.edu/ you can do this. That's lewis.edu/ you can do this. Now, Fred, as I read this next ad, I have to ask, man, do you get down, Fred? Do you dabble in the hydroponics, sir? I must ask you.
The what?
Uh-huh.
What are we
See, he
what are we
understand.
talking
You
about?
understand what I'm talking about, sir. See, that lets me know that he does not. That lets me know that he does not get down, sir. We're talking weed, Fred. We're talking weed.
Talking marijuana.
We're talking marijuana. We're talking the finest of marijuana. And there's only one place you should be going to get it from, man. The Sunnyside Dispensary, y'all. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. They got everything you need to elevate your summer, your winter, your fall, and your spring. They got you covered, man. One-stop shop for all your cannabis needs, no matter where you are on your cannabis journey. Easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Great, transparent loyalty program. Get you that Sunnyside rewards. You know you're going in there multiple times. You get you a reward for doing it, man. Their favorite dispensary from city to the suburbs. Wrigleyville to River North. Champaign all the way out to the east side, well, I reside. They got it, man. So many things. You know, they got one called Good News.
I got to check it out then.
They got one called Good News. You know who else is called Good News? Cliff Livingston.
Oh, yeah.
Also
One of my
Good News.
favorites.
You know Horace Grant named me Good News?
I did not
He really
know that.
did.
Yeah.
He said, man, this is good news.
Do you remember that time we did the Bulls Outsiders together and Horace Grant? I got to sit with Horace Grant on one side.
Yeah.
Kendall Gill on the other. It was one of the best 2-hour conversation with you there.
Oh, yeah, you wore them out.
My God, I wore them out.
Oh, you wore them out.
I started out, hey, Horace, I'm going to sit next to you. I'm going to ask you
Yeah.
questions for 2 straight hours.
Yeah, and Horace said he should have went to Sunnyside Dispensary before he hollered at C-Red Fred, man. And you guys should too, man. So through August, head to sunnyside.shop. Use the code CHGO25 at checkout. Get 25% off of your order. That is one use per customer. That's not only for the new customers. Anyone, you hear me? Anyone can use that code, Sarah. That means you. Pick up everything you need to elevate your summer. You must be 21 or an Illinois Med card holder. Sunnyside Dispensary, y'all. Want to hear my song, Sarah? Hey, hey. Sunnyside Dispensary.
There we go.
You like that one?
I like that. That's good. That's fantastic.
I like that.
Right around the era of my favorite album, The Chronic.
Oh, well done. That's your favorite one? Chronic 2001.
Album. No, the original Chronic.
You like the original Chronic better?
Absolutely. That was better. Do you like 2001 better? Are you serious?
Production-wise, I think 2001 was better. I do. Production-wise. Like, shake all the way over there.
I can't even believe this. Really?
Production-wise, man, like the sound quality and what they were doing, dude, it was like being in a movie theater, man.
We got to get into this music talk at the end. I want to get into Frank Ocean and Billy Ocean. And
Frank Ocean and Billy Ocean. Okay. Well, ask Sarah, right? Well, you know what? I'm going to save it. We're going to get into it later. We'll get into it later.
Get into this a little later.
Want to talk about Nikola Vučević, all right? I got to talk about Vuč. I like Vuč. I think Vuč is an awesome guy. Let's take a look, Sarah, if you got that. Let's take a look at what Vuč has done at his time here with the Chicago Bulls. There you see what he's done. 18 points a game, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 34% from the three-point line. And his stats from this past season, 17, 11, and 3, 35% from 3, played all 82 games. That is the first time in his career, and he was the only starting center in the NBA to start all 82 games. That is impressive to me. He's up for an extension right now. I'm sure, you know, he's got a bunch of people he can talk to, a bunch of teams that might be interested in him, but he's starting with the Chicago Bulls. Feels like the Bulls want him back. Feels like he wants to be back in Chicago. But Fred, you don't want this man back in Chicago. You haven't been a fan of this man for a while. Please explain yourself.
Well, let me just explain. First of all, he's a great guy. He's a fantastic. Let's talk about what he does well. He's a great guy. He's a great recruiter.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic.
You're throwing shots already.
Fantastic.
You're doing already. Really?
Great recruiter. Great rim presenter. He does a lot of things well. He's a great rebounder. Sets picks well.
Yeah.
Passes well. The problem with Vuč is, and the problem with this entire acquisition is, I completely understand the idea. When they traded for him, he was shooting at a 40% right from 3 on high volume. He was a big,
the biggest
that
of his
could
career.
pull out. Yes, but regardless, high volume, 40% from 3, and obviously that was the idea, is to bring him to Chicago. He could stand out at the 3-point line, hit threes, and open up those lanes for DeMar and Zach to attack. What happened when he got to Chicago? It's hard to describe, but let me try to explain this to you.
Take your time.
The best team in the NBA shoots the 3-point shot at a 38%, which was the 76ers last year. The worst team is the Houston Rockets, who shoot at 32%. 6 percentage points represent the best to the worst. Vučević went from 40, excellent, to 31%. Sucks. Horrible. He's now at 34% for his career, but from the All-Star break on, he shot 31%. Nobody cares about him at the 3-point line. You saw it in the Milwaukee series last year. Their entire strategy was, hey, Vuč, fire away, and if you beat us, we'll lose. And exactly
Shouldn't
what
that
happened.
be the
One
strategy
game
for any team, to let your center beat you from the 3-point line?
Well, but that's the reason they give him so many assets, because he had
but Fred,
that skill.
No center is going to do that. It's not a center who's going to stand out
that
there
hit the 3
that
at
will
a high
stand up
rate.
and beat you from the 3-point line.
Vuč, I mean, we just saw it in the finals with Jokic.
He's not standing out. Jamal Murray is the one they're worried about out there.
Well, hold on a second.
I'm not saying,
where does
like,
Jokic do most of his work?
Jokic is not going to stand out there and beat you.
Yes, he
threes.
will. He goes to the high post. He's not in the.
I said stand out there shooting threes is what I said. Fred.
Yeah, but he does hit the 3.
I didn't say he didn't hit it. I said that they're not worried about him as they are Jamal Murray. Like, he's not going to be like, you know, if he takes 10, 12 threes, they'll live with that. If Jokic takes that. If he gets 10, 12 threes, they'll be fine.
They'll also die by that, because he's going to hit it at an acceptable rate.
But when does he do it?
Unlike our center.
When does he do it?
What do you mean? When
Come
does
on,
he do it?
dude.
He does
come
it.
on, man.
He's an excellent. He
Come on,
pulls.
Fred.
He pulls. Well, hold on. Come on. What are you talking about?
I know he's a good percent. I'm just saying, when you're at the center position, there aren't teams that are like, oh my God, we're going to let the center beat us from 3.
Why is Vuč a good fit with Zach Lavine?
Go ahead.
He's not. That's my point. He's not a good fit with Zach Lavine.
And explain why, please.
What's the best thing that Vuč does? He goes in a post and he clogs up the lane for the attackers on the perimeter. Until he gets out, when he comes out and he pulls out a big, and occasionally, if you look at all the big wins the Bulls had last year, there was one thing in common. Vuč hit a big three in the fourth quarter. On those occasions where he was hitting the three, we beat Milwaukee that way. Yes, that's great. That's what we wanted. That's what they envisioned. That's why Acme made the trade. Instead, we have guys who are living in 1989 like he's supposed to be Patrick Ewing in the post with his back to the basket. Nobody runs offenses that way in the modern NBA. That's not the way to win in the NBA. You don't even see a great center like Jokic doing that. It's insanity what we're trying to do here. Where I hear Stacey King and all these guys who I respect, again, acting like it's the late 80s and early 90s. That's not Vuč's talent is not conducive to getting the best out of Zach Lavine. It's as simple as that. I would like to see him signed and traded so you don't lose him for nothing. But I'm also as I pointed out in 2009 when you let Ben Gordon walk or you traded away Kirk Heinrich for nothing, I'm completely fine with letting him go, opening up some cap space. Obviously, I understand all the issues that we have in terms of we're over the cap. But if you sign him to a 3-year contract at $20 million per year or $25 million per year, he's still going to be on our books unless you trade him.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be. He's 32 years old. Do you like the idea of Vuč at 35?
I think
making
that's
$25 million.
I feel like no, I don't like the fact to make $25 million at the age of 35. No, to answer that question.
Yes.
But to sign Vuč in an extension, I think you're in that position where you kind of have to do it. The Bulls put themselves in that position right now. Like, you can't just let him walk out the door for nothing.
Yes, you can.
Okay, go ahead.
That's my point. Just because two wrongs
to let him walk out the door, your censor, like, just walk out the door. That 18 and 11, just go ahead and walk out the door. We don't need that no more.
I'm not saying we don't need that anymore. Obviously,
you don't? But no, he's trash. He can't do it.
No, but my point is, take a step back.
How many centers you know doing that?
Take a step back.
What centers you know doing this? Is all I'm saying. But you let him walk out the door.
It's the center position.
Let him walk out the door, and that's okay with you.
Dave, what do you think? What does he do? Let's take another step back.
Okay.
What does he do well? I love.
You don't like how he runs the pick and roll with Zach? They're one of the best pick and roll guys. Run the best two-man games in the league.
No, actually, this lineup together.
Look at the stat. No, him and Vuč together run that pick and roll. They're two of the best in the league doing that.
Vuč, DeMar, and Zach together played more minutes than any threesome in the NBA.
Because he played 82
they didn't work
games
together.
They played 82, and Vuč playing 82 games is all. I'm just talking about Zach right now. You ain't talking about DeMar.
Okay.
I'm talking about Zach, and I'm talking about Vuč. That's what you asked me.
You like that combo?
No, that's what you're asking me, though.
All right,
you asked me about Zach, and you asked me about Vuč.
Okay.
Those two together were good. If you're going to look at that two-man game they were running, they were one of the best in the league at it. Yes, they were. That's what it was. That's what they were. They were one of the best, all right?
Defensively?
That's the thing. If you're running that, dude, Zach defensively? Really?
Well, that's my point.
I'm sorry, were they not a top 5 defense?
They were a top 5
Were they not
defense.
a top 5 defense? Okay.
Yeah,
so defensively, all right, they
was
were
it
solid.
because of Vuč?
Dude, what center you know on the top 5 defense ain't pretty solid? It don't exist, bro. If you're trash defensively, you're not going to be a top 5 defense in the league, man. I don't care what you got around. Your center has to be solid defensively for you to be a top 5.
He's
top 5. You got to be solid defensively.
Why
at the
were
center
the Bulls
position.
awesome defensively? Because of Alex Caruso? They were awesome defensively because
first team all defense, Alex
and
Caruso,
because their
sure.
coach
and Billy Donovan,
Billy Donovan is an excellent defensive
coach. He did excellent, and he had who as the guy at center doing it for him? Who was the guy?
Not protecting the rim.
Who was the guy? Is all I'm asking you.
Yes, it was Vuč.
Thank you.
I understand it was Vuč.
It's Vuč, man.
Oh my gosh,
it was like that.
All right,
but I'm just saying you have to give him some credit on these things, man.
I will.
You can't just completely dismiss that.
I will
on the 3-point shot. I feel you because you're right. 40% from 3.
He's not going to kill me. We're passionate about.
Oh no, this is how we talk.
This is how we talk all the time.
This is how we talk.
Yeah.
This is how we talk, man. But I feel you on the 3 because you're right. When he was brought in here, it was because of that 40% from 3, and that was a disappointment. Him falling off as he did.
The biggest disappointment in the last 10 years as a Bulls.
That I can't agree with.
Yes.
Like the biggest okay.
It's the difference between us being a challenger and not.
That's the biggest in the last city. All right. But yeah, him falling off because he was trying to find his place on his team, going from being the number 1 guy to going to be the number 3 guy. That's an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? For certain people, especially being with one team your entire career. It was an adjustment for him. As a matter of fact, when he first got here, I believe he shot like 38% because he was getting like 6 attempts a game.
In limited, yes.
He was getting like 6 attempts a game. Okay.
Yeah.
So forward, what he was shooting like 4 3-pointers a game or something like that.
The next year he shot 31% and
Right.
about 4.
Right. And then shot 35 the year after that. So he improved. And now, no. I'm talking. In this season now, he was shooting 34. I believe this season. That's just we just looked at those numbers there.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what I thought he was going to be. I wasn't expecting him to shoot 40% from 3 again. That's just not how I looked at it. I liked him because I know what he brought as far as what he did in the post, as far as scoring around the rim. He's really good at that, man. Like giving you 8 and 11 on that is not something to sneeze at. These aren't empty points right here, man. Give him points that you would need it, man.
Never gets to the line.
Yeah, he doesn't. He does not get to the line.
So he's not an exceptionally efficient scorer. I guess I'm just saying, like, I don't believe in the Bulls building an offense with Vuce out of the post.
Okay.
Especially when you don't have three-point shooters around him. That's the only potential way you can make it work. He's a good passer, but I think big picture, where has he ever won? He's never won anything.
Dude,
we talked about this with Zach Lavine.
We just had this talk. Right, I was about to say, we just talked about Zach. But go ahead, finish.
Well, we talk about this with Zach Lavine, but nobody ever brings this up with Vuce.
I believe
Vuce has
a
never
couple
won
of
anything.
first-round exits with Orlando.
That's the greatest. The greatest.
And who they have on Orlando, though, bro? like if we're going to do that, yeah, Fred, don't do that.
Well, he had
if you're going to give Zach that same thing, nope, they ain't had nobody around him. Who Vuce got around him, dog?
Well, but who did when you go back to Orlando? Look who he had around him. He had similar guys that Jokic had around him. Did he not?
Oh, don't do this.
Well, I mean,
don't do that.
His third best player was on Orlando.
He got a Murray on his team. Like he got a Murray out there for
There we go.
let me search. Let me look. Let me look that up. No, he doesn't. All right.
I just can't believe
Right.
we're having this debate, Dave. He's 32 years old, and we're talking about signing him for 3 years.
I hear you.
Have I
I
lost
don't
my
want to
mind?
be paying him that at the 25. Maybe they don't. Maybe that's a trade. But I'm saying you cannot just let that walk out the door.
Fair.
That's all I'm saying. You have to give him a check, man.
Oh my gosh.
You can't. What's the unless? What's the unless on that? Like, let me ask you this: would you want a guy like
$25 million? I'd say, hey, thank you for your services. Have a great day. If you want $17 million, yes, because I think you can then sign and trade him or trade him at the trade deadline to a team in the West because he could kind of provide, maybe play some defense on Jokic or something, or attempt to, which would be hilarious. But I mean, like
any other center,
he's not going to be.
Oh my God, he can't. You know he had trouble. You know the Bulls beat the Nuggets, right? You do know that. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. No,
here we go. Yeah. Well, yeah, I posted that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. Man, I miss talking to you.
Me too.
I miss talking to you, man.
Oh,
but yeah, man. But let me ask: what center would you think would play well with Zach Lavine? What center, in your opinion, is a good match? Is it a guy like DeAndre Ayton? Is it someone like that? Like, who do you feel is a good match?
I would rather see DeAndre Ayton here than Vučević. Why am I wrong in this? Like, people have acted like DeAndre Ayton had zero good moments in the NBA.
Dude, no, he has one of the best touches around the rim of any center I've ever seen, honestly, and that's the truth. But my God, dog, mentally, Fred, bro, you can't. And being here in Chicago and not being strong mentally, it's not going to work, bro. Like, it's just not going to work at all. They would eat him alive, and you know it. They would destroy that dude.
My sources tell me that he's a good dude.
Yeah.
And I think you can save him. I think he's salvageable.
Think so?
And I would absolutely consider a sign and trade. I think it would be good for both teams because I think actually Vučević would be better for the Suns at their stage where they're at now. I think he'd improve that team. And I'd like to see I would not mind Ayton coming to the Chicago Bulls. I think he'd be a better fit with Zach Lavine. And now everybody's out there saying, well, he can't hit the three. Yes, I understand that. But he provides a lot more rim protection.
Yeah, you love the three. I mean, you just told me why Vuce was trash because of the three, and then you're like, bring me Ayton.
My general...
like, I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I am very big, though, on rim protection. That's like another thing that I think is a major problem with this team that's been ignored for years. And we highlighted it.
I agree. He hasn't had a great rim protector. No.
You brought up, I mean, gosh, it's insanity.
Yeah.
Thad Young was probably the best.
I want to point out your boy Braggs. He's watching. He said he is literally furious he is not there to meet C-Red Fred.
Man.
He is upset that he is not here to use you.
God, I love that guy. What a legend, man.
Yeah,
he
Braggs
went to Purdue,
awesome.
where my daughter's going to go now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Which is, I have so much to talk to you about, Braggs.
Oh, we know Braggs went to Purdue.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Did you know that?
We know.
Did you know that, Sam?
Yeah.
How did you hear?
We figured that out this year.
Yes. Fred went to the University of Illinois.
All love.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to Illinois? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she
Well
broke
done.
my heart. She got accepted to U of I. She chose Purdue. What are you going to do?
Oh, man.
No, I'm on board.
It's all right. He's on board, man.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break, man. We're going to come back. I want to give you your time. You said you had something to break down. We're going to talk about the state of the Bulls. We're going to get into it. And, of course, we got some questions.
Look at Celine.
Yeah, I see it. We're going to ask it. We're going to ask it. We're going to get into it, man. But we'll be back, man. FOCO, ladies and gentlemen, that's where you can get fitted out in the best sports gear around. They got the hoodies. They got the shoes. They got the signs. They got the bobbleheads. And everything in betwixt. It's spring. It's baseball season. The White Sox playing way better. The Cubs just took 2 of these games, man, in a comeback fashion in that last game. Awesome shot. Because I know you're a big Cubs fan, man.
Huge.
Good times, man. Aloha shirts, get your straw hats, get your polos and your bags, and go to either the north side or south side and have a good time because they got everything that you need. And, of course, the set decorations they hooked us up with. I know you're focused in on all this awesomeness that's on your screen right now. I get that. But go ahead and look over the shoulder of it and just all the things. FOCO hooked us up. They show us love. So guess what? You should show them some too. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in your description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off because it's FOCO. Faux show. Dramatic pause. That's how I roll. Dramatic pause there. That's how I do. And also brought to you by Pins and Aces. Fred, are you a golfer?
I am.
Big time?
I'm fantastic.
You're fantastic.
Yeah, I don't like to brag, but I have gifts. I mean, kids in the neighborhood write poems about my drives. So it's pretty impressive.
I would like to hear one day. That would be awesome. Yeah. Well, then you would benefit from rocking your Pins and Aces gear, man, the official golf apparel partner here at ALLCITY and CHGO. And, of course, you would love that Pins and Aces gear because you would get tons of compliments on and off the course, Fred, not just for your game, but for how good you look as well, sir. They're a family-owned golf and apparel business. They make amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and, of course, they make the awesome, as I call it, the Matt Peck beer sleeve, sir. Matt told me, and I never knew this before, a sixer and a roadie. That's 7 beers. You ever heard this before, Sarah? Sixer and a roadie?
No,
that was my first time.
Yeah, it was my first time hearing it from Matt, too.
I never heard that before.
I'm not as cool as him, though. That's why.
Yeah, this is true.
Sounds made up. Is it Peck really say this?
This is what it says. It's what he said. He said it's called Sixer and a Roadie, man.
Matt's real. He's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's super real. That keeps 7 beers right inside your golf bag. Keeps them cold, frosty cold, the entire round. So check out pinsandaces.com. Use the code CHGO. Get yourself 15% off of that first order. And go ahead and get yourself some free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com because when you look good, you play good. And when you play good, it's all good. Like that, Fred?
Very good. Man, you're talented at this. Fantastic. I
just not a talented on the golf course.
Can I address one of these?
Sure, Fred. No, go for it, Fred. Fred would like to address
He's got
some
less blocks and way fewer rebounds. Yeah. He didn't play. Nobody played more than 82 games for Vučević.
You're talking about Ayton. You're talking about Jonathan Washington Jr.'s statement.
Are we really? Who's a better rim protector, Ayton or Vučević? Is this debatable? Am I in bizarro world? Who actually thinks Vučević is better than Ayton as a rim protector in that? And if you look at the 4 teams in the final, like in the Final Four in the NBA, who were they? Williams with Boston had excellent rim protection.
Yes, very much so.
Aaron Gordon with Denver, excellent rim protection.
He was amazing all series.
You had an AD, arguably the best out of all of them in protecting the lane. Yeah. And then obviously Miami with Bam. Bulls don't have that. No, I'm trying to explain that. That's why I think it's so important. We don't have any. There is zero fear on any team in attacking the paint for the Chicago Bulls. If you go back and watch the last 3 minutes of that game where the Bulls were up 90 to 87 and watch how many times Butler got into the lane with zero fear and basically either just finished or kicked it out to a three-point shooter, there's nobody to protect the lane on the Chicago Bulls. This is a major issue, a major need for the past 3 years. And if we're going to act like Vuč is the answer, then we're not being honest with ourselves at all. And a 3-year contract at $25 million a year is the definition of insanity, in my opinion. So if we want to go down that road, that's fine. Like if we're so darn upset that we let two first rounders go and Wendell Carter Jr., who
I'm not upset at that.
I am very upset about.
I'm not upset at that at all.
Again, anyone outside of Chicago, there are very many, from Zach Lowe to many of the GMs I've talked to, who have said they'd rather have Wendell Carter Jr. now. He's a better player right now. Yeah, he's a better defender. He was a better defender.
Awesome. Good job.
What do you mean? You don't believe that?
You keep forgetting that he was blind when he was here. He just found out he was blind when he got to Orlando.
Well, the goggles fixed it.
Yeah, the goggles
changed. We need a better optometrist.
Oh my God, I couldn't see when I was here. Yeah, completely forgot that. And he's healthier. And he's a
Everybody
healthy
hated
dude.
Wendell Carter Jr. I don't understand why.
Everybody did not hate Wendell Carter Jr. This is not
Me
true.
and Mark K. That was the one thing that brought us together. That was it.
That was it.
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty
all
much.
right. Well, let me ask you more, because you wanted to say something about Dalen Terry. You said you had thoughts on young Dalen, sir, the young rookie of the Chicago Bulls, who's now going into his second year. You said something you wanted to say about
he's just
Dalen
the
Terry,
only-
and tread lightly.
I know you like him a lot.
Tread lightly.
I've been blessed to coach for the last 10 years.
That's a flex.
My son is
Good job.
moving on to high school. But
Yes.
one thing I found about players is 90% of them, I would say, what you see in practice is what you see in games. Mm-hmm. Maybe 80 to 90%.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman is on the other side of that. Yeah.
It 10
like you said, 80 to 90. Mhm.
10 to 18%, for whatever reason, perform better in practice than they do in games.
Sure.
And then there's like 1 or 2% that actually perform better in games than practice. Dennis Rodman, I would say.
Yes.
So there's like, I can count on one hand the amount of guys I coach that
Gotcha.
would like that. So I watch Dalen Terry a lot. I believe Billy Donovan is a good coach. I think he sees Dalen Terry. I watch him a lot at Windy City. I get there early to watch every game and see how they shoot. I watch Dalen Terry shoot 40% in pregame warmups with nobody on him. He can't shoot. Like, I'm sorry.
Now,
As a guard,
Right now,
that
he
is a skill you must at least have to an acceptable ability, and that's the issue with Dalen Terry. I love his passing. I love his energy. I love his defense. He's not particularly big. I have major questions about Dalen Terry, especially when you consider that Walker Kessler, one of the best rim
Texas
defenders in
Ranger.
the NBA, Walker Kessler,
You like
very
that?
good,
You
very
like
well
that?
done.
Thank
I
you,
like
thank
that.
you, thank you.
Was picked just after him. Branham, who I love from Ohio State, was also after him. And then we just saw Brown do incredible stuff for Denver. Like, this was a major miss. This was a major miss.
Completely disagree with you on this.
Why am I
Fred,
wrong on this one?
Well, here,
Explain
you're
to
right.
me.
He can't shoot right now. But you act like this means this is the player he's going to be his entire career. We've seen, I can't name you tons of players who became, God, Jason Kidd alone. I can sit here and tell you was trash. Lonzo Ball. Was he not a terrible shooter?
He was not.
Was he not a terrible
He was
three-point
not
shooter?
Dalen Terry.
I asked you a very simple question. Was he not a terrible three-point shooter?
He was not a terrible. He was
Okay,
a
you
terrible
can't
three-point
answer my
shooter.
simple
I am
question. He was
answering
terrible.
it. He was not a good shooter. Yes.
He was terrible, and he turned himself into one of the most dependable ones in
with
the
the
league.
help of Fred Vincent.
Yes,
correct.
correct. So he worked. Dalen Terry
Hard.
works hard, very hard, sir.
How do we know that?
Dude, are you kidding me?
He's 20 years
Watch
old.
this dude work ethic.
Oh,
you don't see it?
I see videos occasionally, but I
You don't
honestly
see the work ethic. Okay,
Well, how
let me.
can you be 20 years old and shoot like that?
It
How can
happens.
that happen?
What? Just
can
because
that-
you're blessed at the age of 20-year-old to shoot like that, Fred, don't mean everybody's like that.
No one comes
Come
out
on,
of the
man.
womb with the ability to shoot a shot. That only is developed through hours and
Yes.
hours of shooting.
Correct.
So Dalen is not
So he
shooting
can develop
enough.
it, and he can get that.
I hope he can.
Okay.
I
Here
hope he can.
was my issue, and this leads me into the Billy Donovan point.
Okay.
But this was my issue on with Dalen. Is every time I saw Dalen come in the game, he did something, and the Bulls were lacking a lot of energy. Okay, would you say this season? Would you say that the Bulls were lacking
I
energy?
disagree with that. I thought
You don't think they were lacking that?
Io has energy. I think there's we
Okay.
confuse lack
Io's
of
a great
energy
shooter?
with
Okay.
the team is sucking.
All right, but I'm just saying.
Who was
I saw
lazy
the
out
energy.
there?
I saw the energy that they were lacking. It was said many a time. I was sitting there watching the game like, dude,
Patrick
the Bulls
Williams
don't have that right
does
kind of
not play
energy
with
out
high
here.
energy.
They don't
Yes.
have that high energy out there. They need a guy to get out there and do that. Every time I saw Dalen out there, he would definitely give you that. He did something every single time. The one time I saw him actually get real minutes, I saw him get 13, 7, and 6. The one time I saw him actually get minutes, that's what he did for you. A dude who can't shoot, who you saying is too small, who can't rebound, 13, 7, and 6. Every time I see him come in there, he's getting rebounds. He starts the break. Do you not see that?
Yeah,
do you not see him
I
do
like
that?
his
A
high
dude who's
energy.
undersized,
I
a dude
like his
who's
high
all this small,
Yes.
is the dude getting your boards and starting your break.
I like
Also
his
a
high-
tremendous passer. IQ, I like a lot, but the vision that he has passing is really skilled. I know you already said that. I'm just reiterating on that.
Yes. All fair
he's
enough.
not a great shooter. I completely agree with you.
I saw him.
I'm not in
shoot an air ball
disagreement.
in pregame.
We're not in disagreement. In
A
pregame,
corner-
we're going to talk about pregame.
I am telling you, I
We
saw
talking
him
about
shoot an air
pregame.
ball. The game I saw, we're talking about pregame. We're not talking about practice. We're
I
talking
saw
about
Marco
pregame.
hit 5 threes. What you saying?
I am telling you
What you
right
talking
now,
about?
that's how you judge players. You see how they are. When no one's guarding them, if you're a good shooter, you take 3,000 shots a week, you need to make 2,000.
Pregame.
Unguarded.
Pregame.
Unguarded, yes. So when he shoots an air ball when I'm watching him shoot an air ball in pregame with nobody on him,
Pregame.
why would I expect him to perform and shoot the ball well in the actual
See
game?
that throw.
We're talking pregame. This is
We're
great.
talking pregame.
We're at a new level here.
We're at a whole nother level, Fred. You're
we've
talking
taken-
pregame.
We've taken Iverson's whole thing different.
All right, let me
I like
ask you
this.
though, before we get to these couple questions that I saw people had. But Billy Donovan, man, I don't know if we completely disagree on Billy. I just know that we probably just feel differently about him. But your feelings on Billy Donovan here as a coach. 117 and 119, I believe, is his record here with the Bulls.
I think the fact that the Bulls are top 5 in defense this year is one of the most miraculous efforts by a coach
With Vučević
in the
in it.
history of yeah, exactly, with Vučević. When you look at their 3 best players, they are not plus defenders.
Yeah.
When you look at who's the best player, obviously Caruso's absolutely fantastic as a defender.
Yes.
Who else is a plus defender? I think that you could argue that Williams is developed into a one-on-one defender. He's a plus defender. He is not a plus defender off ball, which is reflected in his poor plus-minus numbers throughout his entire career. The Bulls really had 2 plus defenders in with Lonzo Ball, who didn't play all year. Like, the fact that we were so good defensively is a miracle and a testament to his efforts in coaching there.
Excellent.
I don't think he's the problem. And I just keep on hearing it over and over again that Donovan is the issue. I really, number one, I think the most important thing is the team playing hard. I don't think the Bulls,
So
that was an
effort,
issue.
energy,
I thought the effort was not a problem for them. What was the problem with the team?
Isn't playing hard
They
a
missed
part
a
of
ton of wide open threes, and they couldn't protect the rim. That's the issue
I'm
with the
saying you
Bulls.
just said they don't play hard, but they okay. Never mind.
What,
All right.
do
No. Please continue.
Do you
I'm
agree
doing it.
with
I'm
me?
hearing it wrong. I'm hearing it wrong. That's on me.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
hearing it wrong. That's
All
on
right.
me. Go ahead, please.
I did not think that the Bulls. I didn't think it was an issue with effort. I also appreciate, especially with the moron who preceded him, that in post game I'd understand. Oh, this makes sense. Yes, I understand your logic here, and I do feel he was trying to be creative, and I do feel he was trying to make to adjust problems. And you saw him make controversial moves when we got Patrick Beverly. He put him in the starting lineup. He put Caruso in the starting lineup. That 5 with the other big 3 was one of the best lineups in the NBA. That was a controversial move.
Agreed.
To put Williams on the bench, which he thrived in a role he thrived in. I like Donovan. I think he's an excellent coach, and I think it's very unfair, the criticism of him. What don't you like about Billy Donovan?
Well, let me say this. I think he's a good coach, too. I don't disagree with the broadness of what you're saying. I really don't. I think he's a good coach. He's proven that he's a good coach in this league. I don't think he's had all the tools to show what he can do. Billy Donovan clearly operates better when he has a point guard. That's why I don't think the offense was great. They didn't have a solidified point guard. And you saw when they got just a bottom of the barrel one, what they look like. They look way better, right? They look like a better team at 14-9. Just a bottom of the barrel point guard, they looked better. He's better when he has a point guard. I mean, his track record shows that CP3, Chris Paul, SGA, you saw what those teams did. Yeah. Like, he's better when he has a point guard who can get the verbiage out correctly to the team on the floor. This is why they look like that with Lonzo. You know what I mean? That's why they look at. He needs a point guard, is all I'm saying. He doesn't have what he needs to showcase that on the offense. And what he did defensively, brilliant. You'll never hear me talk crap about that. My thing was, I didn't think on certain times that he didn't have his right pulse on the team. It was a bunch of times I didn't like his substitutions that he was making at the time he was trying to make them. I thought he made a lot of bad decisions on that. On a couple of those games. I've said on the show before, I've said that. My one gripe, main one, was now that I harp on hard, was taking Kobe White out of the game in that Miami series, man. Yeah. I still don't understand that. And I wish even Billy Donovan lovers, I don't want to call them truthers, even Billy Donovan lovers don't understand that either. Because I wanted somebody to try to explain it to me basketball terms, why they would do something like that. Take out your best shooter who was hot, who put you in the lead, and then take him out. And then, like you were saying, you were showing me those plays when they ran it around the horn, which is the one that pops in my head all the time. Why Patrick Beverly was so wide open. It's the reason he was so wide open. It's Patrick Beverly, and he don't want to shoot that. And then it goes kicks over Vučević, then he kicks it over again. Terrible shot. You took away your best shoot, and I completely did not understand that. And I will forever be upset about that. Well, he's a good coach. I'm not saying he's the total problem, but he's got work to do too.
I think I highlighted it, though, why he was pulled. Number one,
please highlight it for
that lineup, that 5-man lineup with Caruso, Pat Bev, and the other 3, obviously Vooch, DeMar, and Zach, was one of the best lineups in the NBA. Unequivocally for when they were together.
What they got to do with then, though?
All right,
you got to have your fingers on the pulse right then, though.
It was 90 to 87.
Correct.
What happens? The first play was Hero hits a difficult shot, makes it 90 to 89. The next possession down, DeMar is playing point guard position. He's the primary ball handler, which is what happens at the end of almost every game.
Sure.
He throws it over to Kobe White, and I highlighted this, that Kobe had a lane. He should have attacked the rim and drawn Strus and kicked it out to Caruso or taken it directly to the rim.
And Pat Bev was going to do that?
What did he do? I agree.
What are we saying?
He threw it right back. He threw it right back to DeMar and said, DeMar, you make the shot. And I think when he saw that, he's like, I'm going to go with the vet. He pulled him out. But Dave, he went back to him. But
the damage was done, Fred. You played the game. You know what that means. The damage was already done.
That was not a good decision, and I love Kobe White. And Kobe White shot over 40% from three, and I highlighted in a tweet that I made on Twitter that Kobe White has gravity.
Yeah.
Kobe White, if you look on that video, Kobe White off ball, Tyler Hero was out of the paint on Kobe White. He's one of the few players on the team that people actually respect at the three-point line. The only other player like that is Zach Lavine. They were using him as a floor spacer. We're in this whole other universe where the Bulls are one of the only teams in the league that has only two guys on the team that really have true gravity that people respect as three-point shooters. No one else.
Completely
Major
agree.
problem. We went into the season understanding that. Arturis did nothing to address
Nothing.
In fairness to him, he tried to sign Gallinari, who ends up tearing his ACL. Would have been a horrible move anyhow.
Correct.
I think he realized it was an issue, but
I'm more upset about doing nothing at the All-Star break than I was about not doing something before the season. Because at the All-Star break,
there's so much.
But you saw it. But you saw it though, right? You saw how bad they were at three-point shooting.
No doubt.
Like,
no doubt.
But then to come out,
it's inexcusable.
He did. Yeah, that's what okay. We won't even get into it. We don't have time. We don't have time.
Yeah, just little things like I go back to 2001 on the 4th. They signed Matt Thomas.
Shout out!
Who was a total?
You will not be Smo. No, you will never come on this show and
God.
besmirch the legend of Matty Legend.
Are you kidding?
You won't do it. No, you will not. You will not do it. You will not do it, sir. I let a lot go, Fred. I let a lot go. But one thing you won't do
flat
is
shot
come
Matt.
on here talking crazy
Flat shot Matt.
about Matty Legend.
All right, flat shot Matt.
What you want?
Really? All right.
Have the Bulls been back to the playoffs since Matty?
Do you know who
have they been?
The Miami Heat signed 10 days after we signed Matt, the great Matt Thomas.
The Matty Legend to you, sir.
The Matty Legend.
Come on.
Caleb Martin. That's who Miami signs 10 days after we signed Matt Thomas.
Yeah. The legend.
Max Strus was in the building when Acme took over. They saw him every day for 3 to 4 months, and they said,
tore his knee apart.
We're going to pass. No. At the time he came back, he tore his knee in December. Under Pax, then Pax get let go, and Acme takes over in April. He's working out in the gym. They see him getting better every day, and they said at the end of August, no, we'll let you go. He goes to Boston, and the rest of his history ends up in Miami.
Why he stay in Boston, though?
Miami made the same
Why he stay in Boston, Fred?
I don't know.
He was killing them all, Fred. Why he stay in Boston?
Regardless, they made a mistake in letting him
No,
go.
he's in the right situation. That matters too, Fred.
This should have been the right situation.
It should have been, but it wasn't.
Why?
Because it didn't work out that way.
Actually, they wanted the great Matt Thomas.
The legend.
You're celebrating Matt
Matty
Thomas.
Legend.
Are we having
Say
this
it right.
a serious conversation?
You brought it up.
Would you rather have Matt Thomas than Max Strus?
I will not besmirch anything on
Well,
Matt
I'll tell you
Thomas,
right
sir.
now.
You won't hear me do it.
Oh, Matt Thomas is a joke.
You won't-
Matty Legend. I'm sorry.
Bite your tongue.
I'm going to say it right now.
Bite your tongue, sir. How dare you? You will never be allowed back in CHGO studio.
I didn't know Matt Thomas was so beloved here.
Sarah, is there any questions that
Are you related to Matt Thomas or something?
Yeah.
Fans have a couple questions before we get out of here.
Definitely got to
Fred.
get to the super chat first, though.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. All right. So, what is this? Flippy side.
Flip
23?
side.
Flip side.
Flip
23?
side 23.
Yeah. All right. Fred, still a Denzel fan? Be honest. JR from CHGO.
Do you realize that Mark K?
That's not what he asked you, Fred.
Well, I'm going to get to this. Mark K and I had finally got to meet and go to a Bulls game together after all our arguments and after all our frenemies situations over the years. And we went to the Bulls game on the 6-year anniversary of Denzel Valentine putting up 34 against the Cavs.
6-year anniversary.
I call it the Valentine's Day massacre on St. Patrick's Day. We went on March 17th. It was such a special moment for Mark and I. Denzel Valentine, I hate to say this, but when we look at what do you think of when you think of Denzel Valentine? The Miami game where he shoots the long pass. Do you realize in that game, I think he had 14 fourth quarter points. He was absolutely fantastic until that moment. But with our social media world, he's looked at as a pariah, as a joke. I love Denzel. I'm proud to say it. Denzel Valentine is one of the best passers.
No, he's reading something. He's doing work.
I thought that was
I'll
an
say
audible
it though.
gasp.
Oh, jeez. What the hell?
Well, anyhow, I thought Denzel
That
was
wasn't
going
meant
to
for
be
you. That was something
very
else.
smart player, excellent shooter, excellent a guy that I would honestly like to see.
Oh my God!
I'm
Just
probably
go-
losing.
Next question, Sarah.
Losing Twitter
we gotta
followers.
Wrap this up, man.
Well, I was gonna say, I
Next
feel
question.
like we could answer this one then. How many Denzel Valentine player cards does he have on his person right now?
Right now.
I bought during his rookie year. I swear, I bought about 40. So.
Oh, you gave me some. I remember.
I know. As a joke, I give it away as a Valentine's Day card. Like, here's a Valentine's Day card for you, and around Valentine's Day to people in my life, and they all. It's kind of become a running joke.
Oh Lord.
And
Sarah-
then I don't think people save it, or I
No,
don't,
they toss him in the ocean. Like
the best part about it is I only give away like his second year card, not even his rookie card. I give away his like third year card.
Hey, I like that. That's petty as hell. That's petty as hell. I like that. That's
Here's the
petty.
Denzel. Here's your Valentine's
Yeah,
card.
I
I gave
like
it to my
that.
wife once, and she. I honestly, I don't think she talked to me
Yeah.
for a week.
You know why I enjoyed this final part? Because I guarantee you on the show we would never have a Denzel Matt Thomas conversation again. It would never go down.
we talk about
No, we
Billy
can't.
Ocean?
We gotta go.
I want to talk about Billy Ocean.
Well,
really
let's ask
quick.
one question for
All
Sarah.
right,
Sarah,
okay.
have you ever heard of Billy Ocean?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yes,
She knows Billy Ocean. So there's
I don't
hope for the
believe
youth.
it.
There's
Yeah.
hope for the youth.
Yeah,
Thank you
because
all for listening.
Frank
Thank you all for
Ocean
watching.
is not better than Billy Ocean.
Oh, thank y'all
Oh,
for
here we go.
enjoying the
Are you
show.
serious?
Thank y'all for we gotta go, Fred.
right.
Thank you for being here, Fred. Anything you want to plug before we get out?
I have an album coming out of Bull songs. I'm working on it. It's almost finished. It will transform. Well, it's not going to transform. It will make your day hopefully a little better. But I have a song called Lori Markkinen, Boylan, about the day Boylan got fired. Heinrich, about when I got into a fight with a 12, well, not a fight, but a verbal sparring match with a 12-year-old in 2010 at the United
You
Center.
heard him, Sarah.
All these
Grown man.
just stories. It's a long story of my life as a Bulls fan, and that album is coming out very soon. So stay
Yes, sir.
tuned. Follow me on Twitter. And you heard the one
Follow
song I
where?
wrote about
Where they
college.
follow you?
Oh, at CBE Fred,
Yes.
as in CBE Fred.
Several
Why does Dave need a
brooms.
Goose Island? I need a
Several.
Goose Island.
Several Goose Islands. What up, my man Donnie? Yo, everybody, thank y'all for enjoying it. Kevin, was this everything you thought it was gonna be? And more is what he said.
How dare you?
Thank y'all for joining us, man. Much love to y'all. Much love to Sarah for producing this show. Y'all enjoy it?
I lost Wilfred. I'm
You
devastated.
did. He'll be back. We love y'all,
Love you,
man.
brother.
Thank y'all for watching this, man. We out.